Football Manager has dropped a huge update. It's going to change the way we play the game, and they hit me with the words that I want to hear right off the top. Match Engine 23.1. What's in Match Engine 23.1? Well, they don't put it all in this initial message on Steam. And by the end of this video, I'm going to have taken a dive into the forums to read all of the Match Engine changes, some of which they didn't put in the main announcement that are still going to change my life. Maybe yours, but definitely mine. As for the advertised changes to the Match Engine, they fixed defenders stepping incorrectly when defending in a back three. So if you've been playing a back three and frustrated with your center backs, congratulations. That is not close to the end of the defensive tweaks. But I don't think they fixed all of them because they've adjusted the directness in some teams. Now, this makes me believe they might be trying to hide the Match Engine's inability to deal with long aerial through balls, because the next one is reduce the number of unrealistic lofted passes. Now, obviously, Football Manager's Match Engine has always struggled with unrealistic looking passes based off quick change of direction or balance that a player should not have but is able to have in the game to make an unrealistic pass. That makes sense, but I feel like they might be making those changes to hide something, mainly because those changes directly counteract something that's been really effective in the game in the base Match Engine. But there are changes that will keep you from raging, like the fact that they have reduced players losing the ball too cheaply when playing with their back to goal, and that's not the only situation. They've just generally reduced the frequency of defenders giving the ball away in and around the box. So those crazy giveaways while building out from the back are not actually going to be as frequent. And those chaos plays in the box aren't going to be as frequent as well. So I think myself as a chaos merchant, I'm completely out of luck. And they didn't just ignore that issue with aerial balls over the top. They've tweaked defenders' anticipation when running towards the ball to attempt an interception. So they're not going to necessarily make quite as stupid of a play as they would typically when they're... I don't know what the sentences do. What does tweaks even mean? Tweaks to defender decision-making for aerial balls, which is a direct adjustment to things that the game's been having problems with. That is necessary completely. Tweaks to defender reaction times in situations where they're switched off and made a mistake. Now, I think each of those three in that section, those are all attempting to address the same problem that the adjusted directness and unrealistic lofted passes might also be trying to address. Making the game feel more realistic and avoiding those situations where you watch your defender go that way while the ball and the offense go that way for like 5 seconds. They also improved center defender decision making when covering for fellow center backs outside the area. So even when one of your center backs makes a stupid play and they're gone, they have improved the other center back or the other two center backs' ability to make decisions in their absence and cover that space instead of just staying where they were. And they've improved corner defending, particularly defending at the near post. Now this feels targeted, mainly because I made this video about how to be a set piece god that tells you to play near post corners, and I've been doing it for like 3 years and had great success with it. They're hating. They are haters. And they're hating on fun. I like free goals, and now I have to play back post corners, and I'm sad about it. We're gonna test this out on stream. Obviously, if you want to join the stream, the link is down in the description. We're playing Football Manager all the time, even though right now we're doing watch-alongs to every single World Cup match. It's a lot of fun too. I'll be trying back post corners and near post corners and everything else under the sun. And you know what you should try? Mystery Football, our longtime sponsor of this channel, and one I accidentally started to open before the stream even started. Once a month, they send me a wonderful mystery kit, and they put a link down in the description of a video to get you a discount on your own mystery kit. Basically, every jersey that I own comes from Mystery Football, and they're all random. Let's see what we get this time. I only pulled off one piece of the tape, though, so... Easy. Got it. So, we got... What is that? Vitória from the Portuguese top league. Okay, let's try it out. Ooh. I love collared shirts. I really love nice collared shirts. Let me step over there and change. Oh, that looks good, dude. Oh, this is a freaking cool kit. I love this one. It's very neat. And they all come with a card that tells you where the team is from. If you're wondering how I just knew that, I don't have that much ball knowledge, but the link is in the description. You can get a discount on your very own mystery shirt. Maybe even use it to pick your Football Manager safe. They're great people. They've sponsored the channel a long time, and they have cool jerseys. What more do you want? Well, I want some things from Football Manager. Let's see if we got them. We're gonna dig more into the finer details of the Match Engine improvements later, but they've made a massive one that makes me want to fire the confetti cannons in the gameplay improvements. They have improved attribute distribution in new generation and progression. What does that mean? It means there's gonna be more variety in the type of new gens they get. They literally put, in parentheses, crossing for fullbacks. Yes! There will be new gens and regions in the game that have crossing, and they can play fullback. Wow. Just in the video right there. That is awesome. Finally. They also fixed the issue where positional training is just randomly removed, which is another issue that's plagued the game for years. And they made a few adjustments to squad unhappiness. One big one is they fixed the issue where squad is unhappy with their lack of depth in a position that you don't use in your tactic. So if you're like me and you didn't use any wingers and the squad got mad at you for not using any wingers, well then they'll leave you alone, which is awesome and probably should have already been in the game. They fixed a couple of things that could drive you crazy, like you're allowed scouts going to 0 when you run out of scouting budget. They fixed where your players think that you failed a club vision incorrectly, and they fixed AI loan negotiations, which have been an issue for a long time. Like, they just really went out to fix a whole bunch of problems that should have been fixed in the drop of the game, you know? That's when you have to scroll all the way to the bottom of this change list, and you see this thing that says, for a more detailed list of changes for the match engine, visit our community forum. Well, guess what? Sealand's in the community forum. And in the dirty details, we find my single favorite change for Football Manager in this update. Fixed players not marking correctly on wide free kicks that use the corner defending zonal marking. I've been waiting for this for decades. Yeah, this game's fun. Like, this game's really fun. Just really glad that they could leave it open here. In that what I find interesting on the flip side is that I never get that highlight. This is a huge improvement because I constantly have been railing against Football Manager to get this fixed, and it is in the gritty little details, but they did make the change. They've also really adjusted the way certain positions and certain things play. Attackers, particularly attackers that are supposed to stay further forward, they're not going to drop deep or too deep as Football Manager's judge to search for the ball anymore. Those unreasonably long headers from outside the box that people just take for no reason towards the goal, they're not going to happen as much anymore. They've removed dribble more from wingbacks and attacks and enforced instruction, which makes me want to use wingbacks and attack more. Just when are those guys good at dribbling anyways? Never. And a very sneaky one that will have a large impact on the way that I enjoy the game is tweaks to make VAR less predictable. I think they finally caught on after a year and change that we could figure out whether it was on or offside before VAR came up. Well, now maybe we won't be able to. I actually am just going to have to test this out over time and see if the assistant still raises the flag or if the goal tally for the player goes up or stays the same. Other smaller tactical tweaks have to do with pressing. Serious change to pressing, and the more aggressive you are pressing, now your players are going to be more aggressive. They made an adjustment to have players go further forward, particularly wingers, and a couple of different changes right here, and central midfielders and just generally wide players not going up high enough when you're really trying to press. This is going to be balanced out by some changes to the way the build-up play happens. In a back four, the center backs will go wider when you're trying to build from the back, and they've also made adjustments to the way that your defense is going to position itself when the ball gets passed back to the goalkeeper. I'm assuming this just has to do with the center backs getting wider again, midfielders dropping in, those sorts of things. I highly recommend reading this. I link this at the top of the description because it might change your tactic in particular. For example, the two attacking midfielder, like two central attacking midfielder tactics, well, those guys are going to play wider with and without the ball. There's a lot more of that sort of stuff in here if you want to read it and see if it affects your tactic. There's one more thing you should know overall, though. They've made some goalkeeper changes. Goalkeeper intelligence has been improved across the board in various situations, and they have more coverage at their near post. So goalkeepers won't be quite as stupid or bad. But overall, this is a pretty darn massive overhaul early in the Football Manager cycle that I'm going to need to judge for myself on Twitch whether I actually enjoy it as much as I think I'm going to, but this fixes a lot of my initial concerns with the game and should make it a lot better to play, honestly. Because the match engine was an improvement, it was just kind of broken, and they've hammered the match engine with improvements. We'll see if it works out. We'll see you on Twitch. And since you're still here, you should know that on my Instagram, I recently gave away a copy, like a completely free copy of FM23, and because you might not have been following the Instagram, you had no idea that was happening. So I just wanted to let you know that I do stuff like that from time to time as a thank you on Instagram, and hopefully I can see you there. If you're there, you can see super hot looking pictures like this. AI generated sealant. Who knew? I know, it's dreamy. If you want to keep binging, I made this awesome World Cup group stage review after watching every single second of the World Cup group stage live on Twitch. So do check it out. Binging, what the kids call it.